This is a very intentional look. I call this my spring break look. Very popular. A lot of you guys are rocking this look this week. You can Pinterest it. I wanted to give you an update. I didn't just post 2 videos in January and then decide that I'm not gonna post again for a year. I have been going to Dr. Martin in Gainesville, and I've mentioned him many times on my channel. He's the one that installed the bridges or hybrids. And that's who's been, you know, providing my cleanings and care and everything since 2014, I think. Something like that. I went back to work and I have very limited time. You know that stuff floating around talking about like we all have the same amount of time as Beyonce? I'm gonna have to go ahead and disagree with that. Kind of feel busier than Beyonce. She has people. I don't have people. So I was nervous because I knew I was going to have to find a local prosthodontist, and you guys caught me when my luck was on the up. I don't have a long history of just great luck when it comes to dentists. I've had my share of horrible scenarios, crying, being accused of being a drug addict, and you know, whatever. It's scary when you have a good care provider and you have to change, but it had to happen. So I Googled her, and her name's Dr. Ryan, and she's a local prosthodontist here in Jacksonville. And I had a really good experience from the very first phone call that I made. And I can't stress how important that is. Like when you first call a place, how they answer that phone and talk to you and deal with you over that phone sets the tone for the whole shebang to come. If it's a bad phone call, then you're gonna be thinking, nope, I'm not going there because I can only imagine what it's going to be like when I get there. So that was very pleasant. They were nice on the phone. They were texting me to ask me for information and stuff, which I super appreciate. And the appointment was scheduled like a month out from the time that I placed my phone call, which isn't too bad. If they get you in the same day, then there's probably a problem. They don't have a lot of business, and that's like, you know, what's going on. So I think it's normal that they schedule it a month out. So I went there, and the place, you could totally tell, was run by women. And I mean that in the best possible way, because women know how to make people feel comfortable. It felt like I was hanging out at a prosthodontist house. Everything coordinated really nicely. It was kind of like a modern beachy farmhouse type of look. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's kind of what was happening. Very cute decor, felt very homey. The bathroom was very immaculate, with smell goods and everything. It was so cute, and everybody there was friendly. HGTV was playing on all of the TVs. I'm a big fan of the HG, and it was just, I didn't feel like nervous or anything. You could tell that they put thought into how the whole practice looked, and it was like with comfort in mind. All of the staff was very friendly, smiling, welcoming. Like at no point did I feel uncomfortable. At no point did I feel like I was being dismissed, which, you know, happens. I didn't feel rushed or anything. It was just a very easygoing appointment. The hygienist did my initial cleaning, and she did not have to remove my hybrids. So I requested to have them removed, and they were willing to accommodate that if necessary. And I told them that I was willing to not have them removed if necessary. I just wanted to feel like you got these bad boys clean, because I thought they need to be blasted in your sonic cleaner, okay? Because it's been a minute since I've had my last cleaning. But she did the cleaning with the regular, you know, stuff that they do tooth cleanings with, and did the x-rays. Everything looked pretty good on the x-ray. And then the prosthodontist, Dr. Ryan, she came in and she did like the final cleaning, and I think that she said something about pumice. I'll have to ask about that. I didn't want to bombard her with questions. I don't know, like a few of them knew that I did YouTube videos, but like I didn't want to like be all up in there like, so tell me what products you use, what do you recommend, and all that stuff. So I just had a normal appointment and had a cleaning, and I had a great experience. It's very close to my job, so I was able to immediately go to work as soon as my teeth were cleaned. It's just a good experience. So I have another appointment coming up at the end of summer-ish. So I'm glad, you know. It sucks because I loved going to Gainesville. I loved the drive there. It was through the country, like I'm all about it, listening to my music, not being bothered by people, just in my zone. And then it always felt like I was hanging out when I went there. It never felt like an actual appointment where they're removing my hybrids and putting me in uncomfortable situations. It was always a joy being there. So I would definitely recommend them. It's just not close enough for me, not feasible anymore. So I will keep you guys updated if I have any other appointments and stuff. And so I'm going to give you a little preview of what's to come. I've been wanting to do a video about cost. I need you guys to understand that if something were to happen to these free hybrids that I have in my mouth, I cannot afford to pay for them. I don't know where people get this idea that I have, like, I'm loaded with cash or something, because that's like not even close to being the case. Do you understand I have 4 kids? Like, do you understand how expensive 4 kids are? Like, it's crazy. We run into the same things everybody else runs into. One car breaks down. The other car goes like 2 weeks after you get the first car fixed. We get it. If something were to happen, like, I have to think about that. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to afford to pay for it? So when I get comments from people that are like so upset, and you can just feel their pain of knowing that they can't afford this, I feel horrible, because I can clearly remember being in that same situation before I got my teeth removed. That's actually what pushed me to get dentures, because I knew that even though I couldn't get what I ultimately wanted, which was implants, I knew I had to take some kind of action. And so I did. And I will never forget all of the nights that I spent sitting there watching other people get what I wanted but couldn't get, and the pain that I felt. Like, happy for them, because I could only imagine how it would feel for myself if I was to come across the same type of luck, you know, winning something in a contest. But just despair, like, this is never going to happen to me. So I know how lucky I am that I won my implants in a contest, but that's not the end of the road. I still have to pay to get them cleaned. I still have to pay for maintenance. If something were to happen and I was to, God forbid, lose a tooth, lose an implant, something, like, I'm going to have to foot the bill for that. That's scary. Okay. So I understand, and it angers me how expensive things are. But I think that, you know, since I have been able to discuss with so many of you people, like, what your process has been, what your experiences have been. You guys have educated me a lot. I've also been able to talk to people in the dental community, the professionals, the dentists, prosthodontists, the lab technicians, the people like at Ivoclar, like people who have a lot, like a wealth of knowledge about this. And I have been able to gain a new perspective. And I think that there's a lot of misplaced anger when it comes to this, but there's definitely a reason to be angry, trust me. I've just been going over all of it in my head, because like the comments that I get, it's always bothered me, because I never want to make it seem like I'm like good now and I'm bragging or something. At some times, like when I read certain comments, I feel horrible. Like, maybe I shouldn't even do videos, because the people that are like, yeah, well, it must be nice to win, you know, teeth in a contest. It hurts. I don't want to hurt people, but I want to talk openly about it, because it does bother me that it's not accessible to most people to get this kind of work. I did a video about cost, and I was just presenting facts, just facts, ballpark figures of what the different procedures might cost you. I didn't set the prices. And people got angry. Like, I'm married to a rich guy and we're bowling and we can afford that, and you were a paid actress and stuff. And I've been wanting to talk about costs for a long time, but I've never really understood how to approach the situation. But now I'm just pissed about it. I'm angry about it, and I want to talk about it. So that's my next video that's coming up. Stay tuned for that one. And according to my kids, because I listen to them when they're watching YouTube, because they're in the generation that's obsessed with YouTube, apparently you have to not only click the subscribe button, but that little bell next to it is the notifications. And that's when you know that I've posted a video, because it alerts you. That's news to me. So click the subscribe button, and then click the bell to get all of my notifications straight to your inbox. And follow me on Instagram. It's kalinjax on Instagram, and eyeweardentures.com. The graveyard that is eyeweardentures.com. I haven't posted on there forever. It's coming when I get to it. And stay tuned for the next video. It's gonna be an all-out rant about why this stuff is so expensive. And I will see you next time. You guys take care.